Drake Riggs here in Portland. You guys at Dante's just wrapped up a fantastic show, and I am joined by
Doombia.
All right, yeah, it was a fantastic show. I mean, just from your guys' perspective, like, how was it? It was rocking from my perspective, but like being up there performing for everybody, what was the vibe? What was the feel? Tell me about it.
I felt pretty good about it. You know, there was definitely a good amount of people out for a Thursday night, especially because we didn't have a lot of time to plan and promote it. So the fact that there was a really solid turnout and people danced until the end, we're like a heavy rock band, but our stuff has like this Latin polyrhythmic core to it.
Yes.
That really is dance music at the heart of it. And so like, it is really cool when the whole crowd gets that and start dancing, and it's like they're rocking out.
Some mini moshes going on.
Yeah, there was some little mosh, and there was time.
The first time I feel like that people have really like that many people have danced for for us to show.
Yeah.
And I looked out. Usually I'm in my zone drumming, whatever. Stage lights, it's hot, and I looked up for a moment, and people were just going. I think it was on De Harde Tamar. Which is like the crazy one. Yeah. And I was just like, the fact that there was that many people to have a mosh pit in the first place, and the fact that it was happening, it was just honestly pretty magical. Holy cow.
And I love the contrast because like on that song, as well as one of the last songs we played, Red Pilled, there was like this part of the song where people were like moshing, and then we get to like the chiller, like dancier parts, and then just people start grooving and dancing to it for a while, and it's just like that funny contrast of people going back and forth between.
It was a good blend,
and
yeah.
moshing, which is so interesting to watch. From up there on the stage, all I could see because of the stage lights were like the people right in front of the stage, but they were going hard.
It's still just such a surreal feeling for me I've been in a bunch of bands and I've played a bunch of shows.
Yep. Wipe it off.
But this is the first time in a long time that I've been in the band like this, that we've stuck together and we've been really like grinding it out and making it happen and playing tons of shows and really just doing the whole band thing. And the fact that I'm just gonna say it again, like all that was happening, it's just still like so surreal. The fact that we played Dante's,
right?
Like headlined a show at Dante's.
Hell yeah.
Like I've seen some amazing bands here, and now I'm on have played on the same stage as them. It's kind of a
big deal.
A crazy, I'm still not fully processed it. Anyhow, shit.
Yeah, this is definitely my first time headlining. I've played Dante's a couple times with other bands before, but always as an opening band. For like a big touring act or something. Because it's a big stage, it's a big venue. Yeah. And it was really kind of an honor to get to headline our first time playing here.
Of course.
And actually have an audience,
This is like not only my like first time headlining at Dante's, this is my first time in Dante's period.
Oh wow.
I've actually never been inside here.
Oh well.
I've lived in Portland my whole life, but I've never gone inside. I don't know why.
It was meant to be at this moment. That's what it was for. So you made it sound kind of like short notice. How quickly did this come together?
About a week.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like 9 days.
King Banana hit me up like 9 days ago, a local promoter, and was like, "Hey, we have this show at Dante's next week, and we only have one band on the bill, and we heard that your Doombia band is looking to book some more shows." And I was like, "Yeah, this
is true.
I've been getting the word out to people and stuff as best I can, but we've been getting hit up a lot through like Bandcamp.
Okay.
This is the first band I've had where I'm getting messages through Bandcamp.
Okay.
Of people that are like, "Hey, we heard your music on Bandcamp and want you to play with us,"
right,
and stuff. Or people like will find us somewhere on like Spotify or whatever, and then come message me on Instagram and be like, "Hey, we like you, we want to play with you."
Nice.
And so that's been really cool that people are like finding the music and then asking us to play shows. And so I don't know how much of this was maybe,
right, or
it was like somebody that I knew told somebody else.
A mixture,
but like,
yeah.
We've been trying to get the word out about Doombia in general.
Right.
And we've been getting some cool show offers. We have a big show down the street at Shanghai Tunnel on 420.
Okay, there we go. Nice.
That'll probably be our next big headlining gig, I think. And in March, we're going to open for my other band, Los Malhablados.
Okay. Shameless plug.
Misdemeanor Meadows, which is, going to be a pretty fun show.
All right. Awesome. So, mentioned both you guys mentioning different bands that you've been in. So how long has Doombia been a band for? What's the birth date for Doombia?
So, there's a little interesting story there because I came up with Doombia in 2020, and recorded most of the album then too.
Okay.
This first album that we just released, like during lockdown, and I was teaching guitar lessons actually to the girl that designed our logo.
All right.
I was teaching her guitar lessons. She wanted to learn doom metal, and I'd been playing all this Latin music for a bunch of years. And so when I started trying to I was like, this is cool. I want to write some of my own like doom metal stuff. Everything had a clave in it, and I was like, oh shit, I accidentally invented Doombia as like a little joke. And then I was like, oh wait, and then I got like really obsessed with the idea basically, and it was lockdown, so I had a lot of time to just sit and try to develop this idea. And I recorded a bunch of stuff, and then like ended up applying for a grant the next year.
Okay.
From Regional Arts and Culture Council, and I got it, and I used that to hire a couple of drummers. Because I like searched and searched, I could not find a drummer in Portland that could do both metal and Latin music. I mean, there's Papi Fimbres, but that dude's already in 17,000 bands. Literally. I asked him, he was busy, but he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, man, I literally have 7 recording projects this month."
I get it.
Okay. Yeah, no, seriously, that was the conversation.
That's
There's only like 8 in the town.
Yep, and like
in every band.
Yeah, and it's like, but most dudes are like a metal expert or or Latin.
Yeah.
But so it's like I really couldn't find somebody, so I ended up hiring a drummer from California, and then also a drummer here in Portland that was a friend of mine was like, oh, I'll take a shot at it. And so between those two, I was able to finish the album. And then I was trying to put an actual band together because I was like, all right, I had trouble explaining the sound to people and like getting a band going based off of like what was in my head. So I'm like, if I can get these recordings, then people can hear what I'm trying to do and like learn the songs. We can go from there. And so then I was looking for a drummer, because that's the most important thing for this kind of sound especially, and Kobe had just graduated college, so they literally weren't there when I was trying to record it in lockdown, but their dad, sitting behind you, hit me up on Facebook and
shout
said,
out to Dad.
hit me up on Facebook. Their parents' neighbors are my neighbors' my parents'
neighbors.
Our parents are neighbors.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And so Kobe's dad said, you should hit up Kobe. They just graduated college and want to join a band. And I was like, oh. And I'd seen them play before, knew they were good. So I was like, okay, well, that's a good starting point, And then Kobe and I played together for about a year or so with like a bunch of different bass players, like 5 probably.
Around 5.
And we had a percussionist and a second guitarist. Like we were a 5-piece band initially. And because I was trying to get all the layers that we had on the album. Right. But, as musicians and new band,
sorts
like
itself
growing
out.
pains, it ended up getting pared down to this power trio, basically. And once we had Celeste on board on bass, we really just, it synced in finally.
Yeah.
Like that was the missing piece.
Oh, the puzzle piece.
And and I mean it's true because like honestly the last couple of shows the first thing I hear from people is, wow, your bass player is amazing. I mean, and then they go,
we know.
and then they go, oh, everybody in the band, they're like, oh, you and the drummer are really great too.
You're
but
also
like,
great, yeah.
like wow, she really blew me away. Like that is what people
bass.
keep telling me. We feel it.
Oh, of course.
Like the music feels right now. It feels like it's supposed to be. And now I'm just desperate to record with my band.
Right.
Like I want to get these cats on a record.
Yeah. Totally understandable. And I mean, I just love band name stories because everyone's unique. So, Doombia, what is the origin of this?
Oh, well, cumbia is like Afro-Latin music. Do you know what cumbia is? Well, but also I could probably tell.
Yes, let the people know.
Cumbia is Afro-Latin music.
For those who don't know.
It originated in Colombia, but it's spread all throughout South America and also in Mexico. And there's a growing scene in parts of like the southwestern United States. And there's a little tiny scene in Portland. It's about as big as the ska scene, honestly.
We got DJs now. We got like a handful of bands, that are coming out.
There's a few like cumbia rock projects. They come through. I see a lot of folks as I work at a drum store. And I see like just a bunch of like congueros, and there's this a friend of ours who we tried out for a conguero but didn't really stick. He's playing drums in a cumbia band also, and that's kind of it's just like it starts slowly but surely. It's making its way, And
tonight we had a guest musician. We had Dylan from Gala Galactica came out and played secondary
He was great
guitar
too.
towards the end of our set. So.
Yeah, he was an original Doombia member. Actually, just before Kobe
Okay.
joined, it was me and Dylan trying to get things going. And Dylan's a great guitar player. He actually mainly plays bass, but he went and learned like all of my guitar parts
Oh wow.
just off the record by ear, and he played them almost perfectly.
Yeah.
Like a couple little questions here and there, but it was like I was definitely impressed. I was like, okay,
It was way better than you would have thought.
Well, that's like the first time we got together, he already knew all of the songs,
Right.
And I was like, okay, well,
He's good to go.
yeah, you don't have to like audition or anything. You're in the band. You already did all the work. But he got he's been busy with like his band Gata Galactica has been touring their a cumbia, kind of like indie rock cumbia. They're definitely not heavy like we are, but definitely similar. They have a lot of similar South American influences. We probably do covers from some of the same bands. But then we add that like Black Sabbath,
Yes.
Sleep, Nirvana too. I mean, they're not exactly, but there's definitely that influence. We're from the Northwest.
Yes, you have to.
Well, the Wipers, Nirvana, like that's
Yeah.
in our blood.
Yeah, so I mean, going off that, you just mentioned those bands, like inspirations for all of you. Like, which ones would you say you take away from the most? I mean, I'm sure those are maybe some ones that you just mentioned, but
Yeah, the
for
ones I
everybody.
just mentioned, and then in terms of like there's also the South American bands. There's Los Destellos and Los Mirlos, both from Peru. Those are huge influences on our approach to cumbia. It's a type called chicha.
Okay.
And it's specific to Peru and is very guitar centric, like a lot of surf guitar, kind of like really
Okay.
cool surfy guitar stuff, and like psychedelia, lots of ayahuasca.
Yes.
And like kind of a little faster, kind of more punk cumbia in a way, sort of, or just psychedelic, I guess. And so like I really love that stuff because it has great guitar playing, great rhythm. And then there's like art. Yeah.
Yeah.
Los Caifanes from Mexico is huge influence. That's my favorite band from Mexico. And there's like Negro Tomasa cover where they did like this kind of Joy Division goth thing with cumbia. Like that was a big influence on like, oh, can we do other kind of cumbia fusions, you know? Even that song's from like 1989. It still feels really cool
Right,
and relevant. Like
right.
it's such a good song. And then like Soda Stereo, who we covered today, from Argentina. They're not really cumbia, but they're like super influential for Latin rock. Los Visitantes and Paulo Pandolfo was like a guy that I got to know when I lived in Argentina for a little while.
Nice.
And he just recently passed away, unfortunately, but he was a big influence as a songwriter on me also. And like, I mean, the thing is, it's like when we go down rabbit holes, like I'm
Right.
really big into Gabor Szabo too. I've been telling
Okay,
him
okay.
Like I love his guitar playing. He's a big influence on me. I just found like 4 of his records at Goodwill for $3 each.
He's my favorite jazz guitarist.
Oh yeah.
Like, phenomenal jazz guitarist.
He's amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, listen to Gabor Szabo, everybody.
Yeah, Gabor Szabo's
There you go.
If you're gonna take one thing away from this, listen to Gabor
Listen to
Szabo.
it. Yep.
and Los Mirlos.
There you
Seriously, if you want to hear like the coolest guitar players you haven't heard yet,
Yeah.
it's Los Mirlos, Los Destellos.
We have a really, really sick KXP live show on YouTube. Check it out. It's really, really
Of
good.
who?
Los Mirlos.
Really?
Yeah.
They do a KEXP?
Yeah, it's really. I said it.
I haven't seen
a
this
month
one.
ago. It's really cool.
Holy shit, I haven't seen that one yet.
Perfect.
But I also, another one is Sepultura from Brazil.
Oh, fantastic.
The way that they mix like tribal drums,
Yes.
but like actual like patterns, like they have like actual rhythmic patterns that are like traditional like Afro-Brazilian stuff that they'll fuse with heavy metal
Right.
and like yeah, and that works so well. It's kind of surprises me that nobody's done Doombia yet. And I've been looking for it. I found a couple of like electro cumbia mixes named Doombia.
Yeah.
But like what
Not
we're
the same.
doing, I haven't found like there's a little bit of rock cumbia. Another
Right.
one's like Andres Calamaro, from Argentina, is a really important songwriter, and I've seen him a couple times, but he passed away too. But like our song Te Extraño, I was kind of trying to fuse Caifanes and Andres Calamaro together. He's just really great songwriter and like would bring in like cumbia fusion and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean Argentina has such a great rock and roll
A
history.
good base, yeah.
Like Los Fabulosos Cadillacs too are another huge influence on me. They have tons of ska and reggae, but also cumbia stuff, and like also they have some crazy stuff. Their album Fabuloso Calavera is a trip.
There you go. Check
You
it
want
out,
to hear
everybody.
something really crazy? It's like the song will go from like smooth jazz to death metal in like the same song.
Oof, perfect.
And it actually kind of flows.
yeah, kind of.
It's kind of like that Naked City album, John Zorn, but like
Right.
in a song, in like one song, and it's
Okay.
in Spanish.
What more could you ask for?
Yeah, honestly, it's a pretty freaking cool album.
Yeah, sounds great. Check it out, you guys. But all right, so I mean, you made tonight sound pretty wild, but I gotta ask you, with all the bands and experiences that you all have had, is there a craziest band story or live performance story? Anything that sticks out?
Oh God! I mean, once I had to like get in between a guitarist and a singer who were fist fighting
On
And
stage?
all the- No, we
Okay,
were
okay.
about to go on stage. They started
cool.
screaming at each other. The wives were hitting each other. They were like trying
It was
to
a
hit
family
each
affair.
other. I'm like pulling them apart. And this was like out in
hilarious.
redneck country in Oregon. And so people started clocking me as transgender. And I had people giving me death glares while I'm trying to push my bandmates apart. I'm just like, what's going on?
What's happening?
Jesus Christ.
We did not make it to the stage.
Yeah, not
we backed
surprised.
up and left. And it was
Wow.
Wow. That is quite a story.
like Dallas, Oregon. I will never go back.
Dallas, Oregon. Of course, of course.
I can't top that.
You have something though?
No, not nowhere close.
For me, I'd say probably just the last couple of years, the other band that I've been playing a lot of shows with, Los Mal Hablados, it's like Latin ska core.
Okay.
It's like pretty heavy also, and very fast, and like it's like thrash metal punk with a giant horn section.
Excellent.
And that band's like, we've been touring, we've been doing a lot of, like we did a big West Coast tour in December, and we're going to do an East Coast tour this year. We're going to play the Muddy Roots Festival in Tennessee, and we're going to play the Supernova Ska Festival in Virginia. But that band, we like, our crowds are so nuts.
Rowdy.
Yeah, like they do this thing called a wall of death.
Oh, love it.
And I came up in the punk scene. I've never seen it before we started playing shows.
It's a big time metal
And it's
thing,
like
yeah.
Red Rover, but they kill each other.
Yes,
and it's
absolutely.
awesome to watch. It's like, I love it when I'm on
Especially when
stage.
you're inside it, yeah.
Because like I'm on stage, I'm just watching it. Like they're entertaining me while I'm entertaining them. And it's like
Yes.
the better we play, the like more violent,
Yes.
and crazy and fun it gets to watch. But I've literally had to like dodge speakers. Like giant speaker cabinets that are like knocked
Oh
towards
my
me,
God.
you know. I've had to like swerve out of the way and stuff, and try not to like. And I didn't miss a beat, and I didn't die. But yeah, so I've had some pretty wild, like a number of wild times, just with audiences going wild and like almost killing each other or almost killing us. A lot of people limping away from our shows. But like,
It happens.
I don't know, it's fun. Like Doombia, people are grooving.
Yes.
It's not as violent, and I think that's totally fine. I
To
like
each their
that
own.
our crowds get down, you
don't have to sign a
know.
waiver before you come in, like you did with you guys.
That's a big thing.
Yeah, we're always making jokes about how like
We have
The
enough
yo-
chill out moments.
Yeah.
yeah, the other group will make jokes about how like, oh, if you're young enough to still be on your parents' health insurance, then go ahead and get in the wall of death. You know?
Get in there.
But if you're like our age and you're like brittle and like you have to pay for the broken bones yourself, then you know might want to
sit
stay.
it out. Sit it out. Oh, that's perfect.
Like, oh, I don't have workers' comp for this.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, on that note, Doombia, I will leave it to you. You mentioned some of the upcoming show, the 420 show. I'll leave you
Yep.
with the shameless plugs, social media, whatever you want to let
Yes,
the people know
please.
about, where they can find you, all that good stuff. What's coming up, songs, whatever.
We are Los Malhablados. Oops. Should we edit?
Wow.
I'm going on tour.
Yes,
That
we went-
is.
We went from the story. That's my fault.
Let's
That's your other band.
cut. Maybe edit that. If
Yeah,
you
I'll take
can.
it out.
But
Wet Velvet.
right. She has a band called Wet Velvets. That's cool goth
All
rock.
right, check them out too. Yeah.
So yeah, check out Los Malhablados. But we are Doombia Musica on Instagram. DoombiaMusica.com will take you to one of our music videos. Doombia Musica Linktree has a whole bunch of stuff. We have a pretty cool article that a friend of mine from Argentina that recently moved here wrote on us. That really gives a good background and history on the style and the band and stuff. And you can link to that. We're on Facebook and all the other things. The album is on Spotify, which is evil. It's also on Bandcamp, which is not evil as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
We'll see after that buyout.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. They just got bought out.
Definitely moved this
They
way on the
weren't
spectrum, for
evil.
sure.
They weren't so evil at one point.
At one point.
But yeah, it's the system. Just like we dressed in the Palestinian flag today in solidarity because we're in a system where you can't vote against evil. They're all evil. They're all supporting genocide. So, anyways, we are Doombia Musica. We have a show next month, March 15th at Misdemeanor Meadows with Los Malhablados and Nerve Damage from Hood River, who's great. And then on 420, we are playing at Shanghai Tunnel, just downtown here, with a really cool goth rock band called Striga. We played their album release like a month ago, and they were amazing. They were like one of the best. They were just so good. They sound like they stepped right out of 1982, like the Cure goth rock scene. But they nail it. God, they nail it. It's really good.
Awesome.
So yeah, totally come check us out on 420. And
I would say like Melchat Doma, but like more traditional goth rock instead of like, I don't know, they have a little bit more electronic vibe. It feels a little bit more modern. Like they have like more traditional, but that same kind of sound.
Yeah.
Don't we have that show on 320?
On March 20th.
We have
Bomber?
another March show.
Oh yeah, we also have March 24th.
All right, there we are.
That's the one.
Good call.
Yes, thank you. March 24th, we're playing The Bomber, which is a new thing that the Hollowed Halls recording studio is doing, where they do all ages shows as Sunday matinees. Okay. So that like, you know, there's never been enough all ages spaces in Portland.
Right.
So this is cool that they're creating a space, and you know, bands get to play in the hallowed halls with like their equipment and their engineers. So it's also probably going to be really cool, and that bill is stacked. We're playing with Ludlow, which is in my opinion the best folk punk band in town. I love that band. They're really, really good.
Shouts.
They are definitely my favorite folk punk band.
Although
I'm not a huge folk punk fan, but I like them.
In the East, though, they're phenomenal. I love that.
I mean, like,
Shouts to them too.
and like Bridge City Sinners are great. They're friends. You know, my old band Fake News used to open for them back a long time ago. But like, yeah, I love Ludlow, and I'm so glad we're on a bill with them. And then Backseat Plastic, fucking rock.
For the third time.
Yeah, there's like a third time or
Fourth
something. But
time?
they're good friends,
Heck
and
yeah.
they just shred. They just shred. There's just great guitar playing and super fun music. And then there's a new band, I think, that's hopping on that one too. Dirty Prince.
I don't know.
They're tuning. Whoever it is. Yeah.
King Sissy. They're called King Sissy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what it is. They're
great name.
yeah, and they've got a couple people that I used to play with back in the scene, and
Dirty Princess still around?
that was a band, but
Yeah.
I don't know who's in that one. But yeah, those are all coming up, and also I think we're gonna start doing like monthly residency at Smart Donkey Burrito Truck
Yeah.
in Southeast Portland.
Foster and Powell.
Yeah,
All right.
that's supposed to be starting in May, but yeah, first Fridays probably.
All right.
Check our website.
Yes. Stay tuned. Stay updated. Yes. All right. Doombia, thank you so much. It was great. Great show.
Thank you.
Great chatting with you. Thank you so much.